how much of a statement game was this for the Cowboys? 45-10.
I think that it was definitely a big statement game because, I was saying, I think we were both agreed this was one of those ones where could it just maybe be close? Could this be one where the Cowboys don't show up? Commanders offense gets going? Well, they clearly showed us, no, look, we're in a groove right now. But that's the thing. How long is this groove going to last?
I don't know. I mean, like, that's the thing with the Cowboys, in my opinion, is you can never just be like confident in them to maintain like these games. Like, you saw them. I think we had this thought with the Giants, and then they went out and lost to the Cardinals next week. So it's like, I will say though, out of all the last years that I have felt like this with the Cowboys, something to me feels like a little different with the Mike McCarthy era. I just think like, I don't know. Like, I think this offense is really, really thriving, and the defense is playing lights out. So, I don't know. Dak has been playing, you put down MVP football.
He has. I mean, last four, what is it? So over the last 5 weeks, 4 games of 300 plus passing yards and 3+ touchdowns in the game. I mean, that is MVP football. And this receiving corps finally coming together. I think another thing I want to point out is, Brandon Cooks. Is it because Brandon Cooks maybe finally hitting his stride in this offense? Last 3 weeks, 17 receptions, 287 yards, 2 touchdowns.
Vintage Brandon Cooks.
I mean, I think that's the thing is when you get everybody involved, it's definitely a big part of it. We got to give a quick shout to Deron Bland, too. I mean, he's been on an absolute
Their
tear.
defense has been crazy.
I mean, something I was thinking about, too, little side note. You think that having Stephon Gilmore in the same room is a big reason that Deron Bland is able to cook up so many of these just like, because we remember when Stephon Gilmore had that Defensive Player of the Year, what was like 5 years ago?
Yeah.
It's crazy it's even that long ago, but
and now he's playing opposite sides of him.
Right. I think you get a lot of that, I'm not saying he's responsible for it solely, absolutely not. But I think when you get someone like that in your ear, and you get that type of advice, sky's the limit. I mean, it's like, I think I'm saying is a part of the reason we're seeing such a big growth this year from Deron Bland, who already had a great year last year.
Yeah, I mean, I also think when you look at their wide receiver depth, I mean, if they are able to re-sign Gilmore and then you get Diggs back next year with Deron Bland, like the amount of depth you have at the cornerback position, and I don't know if you saw, but Darius Leonard is working out with the Cowboys this week. And my thing is, that defense is already stacked. You give Dan Quinn another weapon, regardless how you feel about Darius Leonard, like that is good linebacker depth. So the Cowboys, to me, are starting to make their stance as like, okay, like we are always on the bubble of contender. Like, no, we are real contenders this year.
No, I think that's the thing is I don't think I've ever even not thought the Cowboys were contenders. Even when you feel like they're pretending contenders, it's just because that's what they do.
Yeah.
Like they don't show up consistently. That's why it's like I'm almost hesitant to even say anything super positive again. Cause it's like I don't even want to jinx them.
Right.
I'm just gonna let this streak keep rolling. Just gonna let them keep doing their thing. Last thing I'll talk about with them though is, hey, Micah Parsons, 5 games in a row with at least a sack, 7.5 total over the last 5 games. That's definitely a big number too. I think I'll use this opportunity to switch over to the Commanders though, because this was the stat that I really think speaks to the Commanders right now.
Yeah.
Another 0 sack day post Sweat and Young trades.
So here's the thing. When the trades first went down, I get why you do it because you can't put all your salary in your D line. But the fact that they are completely neglecting like the edges and just going completely interior was my problem. Like I think it would have been smarter to maybe move Young and then maybe move like Allen or Payne, even though you just signed him, because it's like, then you're like, there's no rush on the edge. It's just the interior. So I don't understand moving both of them when they did.
No, yeah. And I would say like, despite a terrible offensive day, I'm not blaming Sam Howell. Just bad O-line play, bad everything. And then Terry McLaurin's little slump.
Yeah.
Definitely, gotta
well,
get out
like,
of that.
At the end of the day, like Sam Howell still threw for 300 yards. Like what, there's quarterbacks that were taken in the first round not doing that, like consistently. He is throwing for, what is he averaging a game? I'm
trying to be close to 300, if not over.
It's got to be. That's what I was just looking for, because like he's thrown for a ton of 300-yard games and some high 300-yard games. So, yeah, I don't know. I think the Commanders are moving. See, this is my thing too, is because they drafted Emmanuel Forbes, right? And they could have had who Christian Gonzalez, Deontay Banks, whatever. They've had issues with Forbes, but moving like two of the best like some of the best edges in the league, it's not helping your secondary at all.
Yeah, no, I think moving one would have been fine. Moving both, definitely. I'm still questioning it. That's what I'm gonna leave it at. I'm over here questioning it
Yeah,
because I think long term replacing either of them,
both of them is going to be tough.
yeah, it's gonna be really tough. It's something we're gonna keep our eye on here because I'm not forgetting about it.